maybe. I don't know. Where's the third musketeer at Pendleton?
No idea.
Okay, it's not y'all's day to keep up with him?
Nope.
And you have an open circle. That's another thing you have to check. There's two ways to solve this. There's two steps to solving this problem. This is like 5.3, so you might want to write this down in your notes as 5.3. Start at 5.3. First of all, when you see a trinomial in 5.2 and 5.3, what should you do? Always factor it out. Always. That's shortcut number 3. Shortcut number 3 gives you x plus what?
4.
X what?
Minus 4.
Golly, you're not supposed to know that. You're supposed to ignore me saying you're supposed to learn that, and you're supposed to not know it.
That's right.
Why'd y'all learn it?
I don't know.
God. X minus 4. And what happens to the x minus 4s?
They go away.
Okay, now, can you obliterate the asymptote? No. But you don't have an asymptote, you have an open circle. All right, so that's your function reduces down to x plus 4. But in the original equation, you've got x minus 4 in the original equation, so you have to do that. X minus 4 is equal to 0. So therefore, in the original equation, you can't have what?
4.
X cannot equal 4. But since you reduced it to this, you've basically got a line, 1, 2, 3, 4, vertical shift, and you've got a line 1 to 1 that's 45-degree angle. But you don't have a vertical asymptote, you have a open what? You have an open circle. And the reason you have an open circle is because in the original equation, you can't use what? You can't use 4. That's why you have an open circle versus a vertical asymptote. Here, you don't have any vertical asymptote because it's just x plus 4. So that's the function. If you graph this function and you graph this function, you're going to get this. And you don't have a vertical asymptote because you get rid of the vertical asymptote right here. And when you get rid of a vertical asymptote, it turns into a what? An open circle.
Yay.
So it should be, which one? Charlie? At least y'all know 4 letters of the
I know all
NATO calendar.
I can do all of
Or
them.
NATO alphabet.
Phonetic.
Whatever. It's called 1 or 2. Yeah. What gets me is all these policemen on live PD, they don't know it. And they'll make all kinds of, I don't know why they do that. Look at there, we got it right. We feel good about ourselves.
Golf, hotel.
Okay? All right, here's one. This is 5.3.
Whoa.
What do you do with fractions whenever you have them? Do you work with them or do you try to get rid of them?
Get rid of them.
Get rid of them. So let's multiply through by the common denominator, which is what?
X squared.
X squared. Good job. So I'm going to multiply through, and this is a test question. As you can see, this is in your x squared over 1. So go ahead and just x squared over 1 and see what you get after you cancel everything out. Now, Friday, since you are not coming to class, and I've said that like 3 times so far, hadn't I?
Yeah.
I'm going to say it another 3 or 4 times before class is over. I want you working on the homework and the test. If you don't want to work on the test, then work on the homework and send homework questions for Monday. Because you have midnight Monday to finish the what?
Homework.
The homework. So Monday, we're going to do nothing but homework questions. If I don't get homework questions, I'm going to go into chapter 6, which is logarithms. And logarithms is pretty simple if you know exponents. So it should be a quick section. So when I multiply, I'm going to put a baby step in here for you. X squared over 1, x squared over 1, x squared over 1. And I do the baby step for those non-water walkers that wrote the book. Negative 1 over 1 minus 16 over x plus 81 over x squared equals, I'll do the right side for you, 0.
No way.
Y'all amazed at how I did that, didn't you? Some of y'all need to put it in your calculator to check it. All right, let's take our blue pen, and what happens here?
Isn't that positive 1?
I don't know, where?
I mean, negative.
Yeah, thank you. Sorry, I don't know where negative came from. I guess I just, oh well. All right, what happens here? Give me the product of
X
this.
squared
Good job.
minus 16.
Okay, minus, and this cancels here and leaves x to the first, so this is 16x plus what?
81.
And now we can complete the square if they want you to solve. Does it say solve? Find the x-intercepts. This right here, x-intercepts. I don't know why they don't call it x-intercepts, but anyway. So x squared minus 16x plus blank is equal to negative 81 plus blank. And half 16 is 8 squared.
64.
Y'all notice how easy complete the square is to y'all now?
Yes.
It's a miracle. Y'all have just gotten smart over the last, what, 10 weeks? Just gotten smart. And negative 81, somebody do that for me. What do you come up with? Something 7. What?
Negative 17.
Negative 17.
Keeper, I'm going to go use the restroom.
Oh, you don't have to tell me. Thank you for being courteous, but you don't have to tell me. All right. Now, take the square root, and that's going to be 17i. So x minus 8 is equal to negative I square root, or 17i, whatever, plus 8. And that's going to be 8 plus 17i
That's the square root.
plus or minus square root. Thank you. I knew something was missing there.
It's alpha.
There you go. So, which one is it?
Alpha.
Thank you. And you feel good about yourself. Next. All right, I have no idea what this one, okay, this is a graph on the calculator. Now let's look at it just so we can learn. What is the horizontal shift? 1 to the left, negative 1. And what is the vertical shift? So just by sketching, let's go ahead and we know it's a volcano, right?
It looks like
It's a volcano. Now let's look. Don't answer it yet. I don't want you to answer it. You got 3 things telling you what's going on. What are they? That one, and that one. So we know that the negative, instead of the parent graph looking like this, we don't have a volcano. We've got a what? A vortex. Or for some of y'all that don't know what a vortex is, dang old funnel. All right? So that tells us it's a funnel, that negative. That vertical shift and horizontal shift, negative 1, negative 5. So negative 1, negative 5. And that's our new what? That's our new, technically that's our new origin. Everybody with me? Yeah. So it looks So which one looks like that? Alpha? Alpha? And then you fill in all the blanks. I'm not doing all that. But, domain. Domain is not all real numbers because you got to set the denominator equal to what? 0. So you can't have 0 in the denominator. So x plus 1, quantity squared, is equal to 0. Square root of 0, I'll do that for you. It's 0. X plus 1 is equal to 0. X cannot equal what? -1. So at -1, you've got a vertical what? So what's the domain? -infinity to, and -1 to, and what goes on -1? Parentheses or brackets? Parentheses, because you can't touch a vertical asymptote. So I think the range is -infinity to what? -5. Good. So that's what you're going to get on that. So again, you can do it by sketching. If you like doing that, that's fine. Or you can do it by graphing. But again, now you see all the time we spent in Unit 1 and Unit 2, now you see that you can actually graph something without even what? Using the what? Calculator. And you don't have to sketch it. Not graph it, but sketch it. Next. Okay. This one says, okay, now this one you don't have to graph on a calculator because they don't give you a function. You're just analyzing the what? The graph. Given blah, 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 find A. F of X, what is F of X? Y. So go back to your redneck ways and just say Y is equal to 0. What happens when Y is equal to 0? That means you've got to find what? X. So what is Y equal to 0? When you get Y is equal to 0, that means you're finding X. So when Y is equal to 0, what is X? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's 3 and -3. So you would say, which one says 3 and -3? -3 and 3. -3 and 3. -3 and 3. Oops! C is out. So now you move to the next step. B. What does this say? Y is less than what? 0. What happens to this function when Y is less than 0? Y is less than 0 is down here. Y is less than 0 is down here. So that would be what? Negative, what is that? -5, -4 to +4. Where do you see -4? I think that's, let me erase this. Y'all see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Okay, let me erase this so I can read it.
Maybe, is it, I think it's -6.
Huh?
It's -6.
I understand what you said.
I think it's -6 to 6 because the vertical asymptote.
Well, that -6 is right here. I think you're reading it. I think it's negative. I'm reading it. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Should be -4 to +4. Do y'all see a -4 to +4? So this one's out. What am I trying to show y'all on these answers? That you can what? You can actually deduce until you get the right answer. And then what is C? C says what? Y is what? Greater. So when Y is greater, then you're going to have -infinity to -3, and then -3 to what? 3, or whatever that is, 4, I'm sorry, -4 to 4, and then 4 to what? Infinity. You're going to have those three. So I don't know if that's what, yeah, that's what they're saying right here. Negative infinity to 4 and then 4 to infinity. I'm sorry. So the only answer that you could possibly have is what? Now, why did I pick that question? Because that question tells me as an instructor, if you can do that question, you can analyze a graph. Or you're what? You suck. One of the two.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Oh.
we got it wrong. Okay, I have no idea why we got it wrong. Let me blow it up. Okay. F of x is equal to 0. Y is equal to 0. Y is equal to 0 is right here. That gives you -3 and +3. -3, +3. So we know it's not C. Okay? Now let me look at the next one. What is the function doing when y is less than 0? Y is less than 0 is here and here. Okay, so I don't understand. That's -4 to +4. Or am I missing something? No, yeah. Because you can't say -3 because -3 is what? -3 to +3 is what? Above 0. So you can't say that. So which one says -4 to +4? Okay, I don't understand. Unless I'm counting something wrong. That's a +4 and that's a -4, is it not?
They
Okay.
separated. They
What?
did the negative. They separated. They did -4 to -3. -3 to 4.
-4.
-3. That's the part that's below it on that side.
Oh, I see. Okay, I see what they're doing. Oh, okay, I was reading it wrong. Okay, -3 to -4, thank you. And then from 3 to 4. Okay, that's my fault. It should be this one, D. I was reading it wrong. Do you see where I was reading it wrong?
Yes.
It's my fault. Not y'all's fault, my fault. So that should be the answer.
Yeah.
Okay, so I messed up. And what they're saying is, and I was reading it, I'm just going to use the marker here. Oh, primitive. I hate this thing. Right here and right here is where it's below what? So that's why. And I was just, you ever look at something and you see it, but you don't, I didn't see it. My bad. So that's why this is the right answer. So that was my mistake. But again, like I said, it's analyzing. So sorry about that. You know what's worse than a teacher making a mistake? Teacher making a mistake and not admitting that they made a mistake. That's worse. I've had some of those. I had one teacher that spent the whole class. The answer was wrong. This was when I was a student, and I was at Tri-County Tech, Oconee Hall, and it was an algebra class. And that teacher took 40 minutes trying to tell the student that he was right when he was wrong. So, because some of the kids that sit up front, they all what? They know what's going on. I was in the back, of course, but they were all fussing with him, and he was wrong. But anyway.
Did he admit it eventually?
Nope, never did.
How do you argue for 40 minutes?
When it's ego and pride, you'll argue for 2 or 3 days. All right. What does the direction say here? We went over one of these the other day. Use what?
Division.
Division. So you might as well quit, right?
No.
Yes, sir.
Oh.
X minus 2 into 4x minus 7. How many times will x, first of all, x to the first, x to the 0, x to the first, x to the 0. So nothing's missing. So x will go into 4 times. 4 times x is 4x. 4 times negative 2 is what? Negative 8. We always subtract. That goes out. That turns to a positive. We got a what remainder?
1.
Now, find out how you want to write it. Which one is it? Somebody tell me which one it is.
Delta.
You say it's delta? Does everybody confirm that?
Yes, delta.
Delta.
Yeah.
So,
India.
okay, yeah. Probability of 7 on a die, right?
Echo.
Okay, now, let's look at the sketch. Let's take our handy dandy. We know that this is a linear function because it's all x to the what?
And x does not equal 2.
Why is it? Am I looking at that wrong? It looks like it's a, oh, it's a rational. I'm sorry. It's rational. 1 over what? X. So we know it looks like a what?
Volcano.
Half a volcano. Okay? So we know that it's not negative. So that means it's a regular parent graph. What kind? It looks like we've got, I don't know, you could say we have a positive 2, but you can't say that because it's got X, you got numbers on top and bottom. So all of them look like positive, so I would just graph it on a graphing calculator. So somebody tell me, graph it on a calculator, tell me which one it is. I want to say it's the one on the right, because you can't do a vertical shift on this one because it's not conforming. So which one is it? Somebody graph it. Make sure you use parentheses on top and bottom. Now this is a graphing calculator question because I wouldn't, you know you've got 1 over, you've got a horizontal shift, because which one do we say? We know we got a horizontal shift of 2 to the what? To the right. So it's
like Bravo.
Bravo.
It's correct form.
What?
Expands.
Because like the 4 is the
Oh,
y. What's it called?
Okay, y'all, did y'all graph it, and does it look like this one?
Yes.
Okay. Now, why is it not saying check? Oh, I got to answer something else. Okay. Which one is it here? B? Well, it's not this one. It's not that one. I think it's B. Now we should get it.
Yay.
Yeah, because it went up 4 and then to the right 2.
Yeah. Well, do this. And if you will do this, which I don't know why in the heck they do this, rewrite this, like you said, f of x is 1 over x minus 2 plus 4. And as you said, what is this? See? Why do they write it like this? To screw you up. That's why. Okay? Good job.
Yay.
And y'all all feel good about yourself. I don't know. I think this is that's 2, section 2, whatever chapter we're in. 5.2. And keep going, keep going, keep going. As y'all can see, okay, now this one is one that is a little bit on the challenging side, but as long as you know your shortcuts and common denominators, what's the common denominator of x plus 2, x minus 2? Which is shortcut number 3. So you've already got it right there. All you've got to do is, I'm going to write it out for you, so that way you won't use, I don't know what you're doing.
X squared minus.
So I'm going to write x plus 2, x minus 2, x plus 2, x minus 2, x plus 2, X minus 2. I'm multiplying through by the common what? Denominator. That's going to give change to black. 7 over X minus 2. I'm setting it up for you. And then I want y'all to do it. Negative 9 over X plus 2 equals 4 over what? X plus 2, X minus 2. Now, if you don't know where I got the X plus 2 and X minus 2 from, then you don't know your shortcuts, and we don't need to talk right now. Because I done told y'all to learn that blame things. And let's take our red pen out. I want you to do it now. And you should get it narrowed down to a quadratic. And then, of course, complete the square. I don't know if they're asking for, what are they asking for? X-intercepts. 25-cent word for complex rational, or this is a 25-cent word for what? X-intercepts. I think this is probably your most difficult algebra question on the test. Next to that one we did with x squared on the bottom. Now y'all, if I wanted to, I could put a whole lot more difficult problems.
Oh, no, we good.
I mean, it is supposed to be a short test, not a full test. What happens to the x minus 2's?
Cancel. It's 18.
What happens to the x plus 2's? And I'll do this one for you.
Holy cow.
I'll do that one. 4.
You're a big brain.
I know, I do. There we go. Now what we have right here? Negative 7 times x plus 2. And what?
Negative 9.
Negative 9, but negative 9 times what?
X minus 2.
No, you're not going to have a quadratic. You're going to probably just have,
It's just
I think it's just a regular line. Now be careful here, because that negative right there make life miserable. So make sure you do it correctly. Here, we're going to have negative 7x minus what?
14.
Here, we've got plus 9 times x minus 2 equals 4. And yes, I'm not skipping steps, because you got to be careful with these guys. Whenever you have negatives in front of parentheses, you got to be very careful. Negative 7x minus 14 plus 9x minus what? And now solve for x.
18.
So negative 7x plus 9x is
2x.
2x. Negative 14 minus negative 18 is negative 32. Equals 4. Take 32 across the river. And you get 2x is equal to 36. And x is equal to 18.
Sharp.
So what's you?
Oh, uniform.
Uncle.
Uniform.
I thought it was uncle.
Pretty sure it's uniform.
Okay. Let's look it up. Somebody Google it.
Okay.
I always used uncle in the Marine Corps, so I guess I was wrong.
So, what made you decide?
Actually, because I thought it was the best at that time, and it was. It is. And plus, I was getting burnt out with school, and I wanted to help pay for my education, so
Uniform.
it is uniform. You're correct. I'm wrong.
The Marines, they too tough. They do too much.
Well, then you need to go in the Air Force, because you only spend like 6 weeks, and they have a cleaning crew that cleans up your beds. So you need to go in the Air Force.
Yeah.
But I encourage everybody to go in the military for at least 2 years. Why? So you can see how screwed up the rest of the world is. and see how great it is in the United States.
I mean,
You won't be protesting if you go see the rest of the world. But we're all racist, monogamous, non-monogamous, misogynist, and terrible people in the U.S. Who's got a question on this one?
This one was beautiful.
Next. Okay, don't fall for this one because some of you might try to make this one out to be very difficult. Guess what? It's very simple. What's the answer?
0.
Nope, not 0. That means no solution, but yeah. How did I get that?
7 doesn't equal 0.
7 does not equal 0. How did I get 0?
You multiply 7.
You multiply through by the common denominator, and what do you get on the right?
0.
Okay? And 7 does not equal 0. You want me to show you?
I see it.
You got it?
Yep.
Okay. Don't fall for this one because some people will they'll try to solve it when they can't solve it. I'll write it right quick. 7 over x minus 8 quantity squared is equal to 0. I want to clear the fraction, so I multiply both sides by x minus 8 squared. Now you don't need a calculator for this. 0 times anything is what? And what happens here? And 7 can never equal 0. And whenever you get an untrue statement, it means no what? Now, was that a gimme for y'all? Yes, I was giving y'all one.
Thank you.
So if you miss this one, don't what? Don't tell anybody. What?
I'm going to tell the whole world.
Okay, if you miss it. Which of the following functions have a graph that does not have a vertical asymptote? How do you know?
Because there's no numbers again.
Because B is a parabola. I mean, is a, no? B does have, B is one.
Pretty sure it's got the ones that go like that, right?
Hmm?
It should be A, shouldn't it? Because it's got the ones
X
that-
minus 6. X minus 6 is equal to 0.
Never mind.
You can't use 0 here. X squared minus 5. X squared plus 5. I believe it's either going to be C or D. Why? Because these two have a vertical asymptote. Now, we're using deduction and we're using algebra too. So, also, x minus 6 is equal to 0. X is equal to what? Negative 6. So you cannot plug in negative 6 here, or 6, sorry. You cannot plug in 6 here. Everybody got that?
Yep.
So that one's not it. X squared equals 0. You can't have a 0, so that one's not it. X squared minus 5 is equal to 0. X squared is what? X squared is equal to what? 5. X, or X-Intercepts, or whatever, X cannot equal positive or negative square root of what? 5. So that has, so X squared plus 5 is equal to 0. X squared is equal to negative what?
So it's D.
Because you can't take what?
No.
Square root of a negative. Now, what if they would have wrote, which of the following has imaginary numbers? You would have got it like that. Because imaginary numbers means they don't exist. So, D is your answer. And you feel good about yourself. What? I love how y'all whisper and mumble.
I'm always told I'm too loud, so.
Okay, try that one. Now this one, you need to use your calculator because you can divide it. If you want to divide it, no, you're not going to divide it because this one, let's see, what do they ask for? Yeah, just graph it on your calculator. So go ahead and graph it and tell me which one it is. And it's symmetric around the what axis? Around the y-axis. You can see that. Especially D and C and B. Yeah, it's symmetric. It's not symmetric. It's not this way and it's not that way. So you know that it's symmetric around the what? Y-axis. Domain on all of them is negative, all real numbers. Oh gosh, negative infinity. Let me do this because it's going to ask me to put, if I don't put parentheses, it's going to ask for parentheses. If I do put parentheses, it's not going to want parentheses.
It looks like A.
Damn Russians. Ukrainian Russians.
Yeah.
Now y'all see Hillary blaming Tulsi Gabbard and Jill, is it Jill? Who ran last? Jill Stein. So now she's accusing them of being Russian, and they're Democratic and independent. They're green. What's the green deal? Jill Stein is she's one of those green peace activists. Okay, so she's on the, and now she's calling her a Russian spy, and now she's calling Tulsi Gabbard, who is a major in the army and served overseas and is a Democratic presidential. She's calling her a Russian spy. I think Hillary Clinton is losing her mind. Of course, I'm a Russian spy too. No, I'm just a terrorist.
I got it.
Y'all got A? So what is the range? It looks like negative, whatever this is. Let's see, that'd be -2 to 0. We're going to have to blow it up if that's it.
I'll just go for it.
Okay, are we touching 0? No. Looks like we're touching -2 though. So I would say -2 with a bracket to 0 for your range.
It's -1, negative.
What?
Yeah, -2.
-2. So bracket, I'm going to do a bracket here. -2 to 0 with a parenthesis. Now, I'm going by what this picture looks like. Now, does it look like it's touching -2? It looks like it is to me.
Oh, my calculator set that.
Okay, good. And that's why I want you to use the calculator on this one. So what else does it ask for? Choose the correct asymptotes. I only see a horizontal asymptote of y is equal to what? 0. So y is equal to 0. And we should feel good about ourselves.
Oh, 80%.
I didn't. See, I told you. They didn't like the bracket. I bet you $1 they didn't like the bracket.
Oh, no, wait, you forgot the graph is symmetric with respect to the,
What? Are you okay?
Yep, I'm great.
All right, I'm going to put a parenthesis, but I don't agree with it. The way the picture looks, I don't agree with it.
Uh-oh.
Okay, so I don't know what's wrong. Somebody tell me.
Everybody, let's all freak out.
Y'all figure it out. I don't know what it could be.
Not going to tell us what's wrong.
No, this is a review. This is the teacher's, so it's not going to tell me. Y'all figure it out. Does anybody have an idea? I think that's a bracket. I'm sorry, but I think that's a bracket.
Maybe try improving.
So we know that's not wrong. What? What? 0, because this says what? Well, if I got this right, I think I do. Y is equal to 1? No. Reckon we have the graph? Y'all check the graph. Somebody else check the graph. Okay, you got A? I don't know what's wrong unless there's something. We'll have to check that one. We can check that one in just a minute. We're running out of time. Of course, we're running out of time. So let's
Wait,
move on.
Click on the arrow that goes down. Like
Where?
at the, where it says 22 of 26, 9 complete. Oh, never mind. I thought it was
Well,
on-
you all right? Okay, I think we're gonna have a lot of bonuses. I think we've done at least 10 questions, haven't we? Okay, here's one. Identify any vertical, horizontal, or oblique asymptotes in the blah, blah, blah. Well, let me erase this and let me pull this up. Okay, we've got a vertical asymptote right there with that dash line, and we got an oblique asymptote right here. So we have a vertical asymptote and an oblique asymptote. And it looks like, what kind of equation we got? We got an x plus 1. Does everybody see? Well, I don't know what that is. Okay, we got a vertical shift and a horizontal shift, so that's what they're asking you to do. You're going to have to blow it up because they, why do they do this? They need to put it on. What kind of function? There's no way you can tell what equation this is. There's no way. We got a vertical asymptote at, what's that number right there? Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that would be 3. That would be a -3. And then we've got an oblique asymptote at 1. This is 1. So that's going to be x plus 1. So the equation for the horizontal asymptote is x plus 1. Why? Because what's the ratio for this vertical asymptote? 1 to 1, isn't it? Looks like 1 to 1. It looks like x plus 1, but I'm not sure.
Vertical.
No, the horizontal I meant the oblique asymptote. Oblique. And then the vertical asymptote is -3. Vertical asymptote equals -3. And I think that's what they're asking. So which one says the one we got? There's two asymptotes. Okay, y'all don't have to start packing up yet. I got at least 1 minute. The equation of the leftmost one, x plus 1,
It
X.
has a different slope.
it does?
Yeah.
Well, I can't hardly see the dadgum slope the way they got it. I think they could have done a little bit better. All right, so that's 1, 2 over 1. 2x plus 1. Y'all check me. 2x plus 1. Because I know the vertical shift is 1, right? No, 2. 2. Because they count by 2. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. So thank you. 2x plus 2. So 2x plus 2. I want to let y'all see the rest of it. 2x plus 2. And what's the other one? -3.
Wait, it says typing it. Wait. Yeah,
Y is equal to -3. That's probably what they want. Or x is equal to -3 and y is equal, and they'll probably tell me it's wrong. Y'all will see these in your homework. So y'all can tell me what I did wrong on that other one Monday if you want to. Good gosh. Horizontal. Well, I thought we just did that. I don't know what they're asking for. What does it say now? Identify. Okay, we'll finish this Monday. Remember which one we were on. Oh, that's 26. That's the last one. All right, well, you've got 2 options. Friday. What do we do Friday?
Don't come.
Don't come to class. What else are you supposed to do Friday? Homework, send questions, or you can work on the test if you feel confident. There's 2 questions that we need to finish. This one and the one that had the wrong answer, which I don't understand why it was wrong. So y'all get out of here. I'm going to just count everybody here today and Friday. See y'all. Have a good weekend.
Do we not have
Oh, yeah.
Do we not have class since it's our Sunday school?
No, I'm sorry. Yeah, that's why. I'm canceling class because it's my son's